What would you do with the money?
I'd start my own cult, dedicated to summoning Cthulhu and bringing about the end of days.
What is your most unusual talent?
My most unusual talent. Because, I've got quite a few talents, but... You know, it's funny, because some people think that it's unusual that I can digest grass. Now, I couldn't always digest grass. Humans are not known for their ability to digest grass, but if you really persevere after the first, 40 to 50 upset stomachs, your body does change and it can do it and adapt. And, I don't recommend if you've got any kind of, IBS or anything, but other than that, totally works for me, saves me a fortune.
What advice would you give to your younger self?
Oh, I would tell my younger self to stay away from drugs. I did far too many pharmaceutical studies. I was warned, don't do more than one at the same time, but the money was so good. I got greedy and I signed up for 18. Most of the horrific side effects have faded over time. However, I still get terrible hallucinations when I pee, and it hurts real bad to my left eye when I blink.
What is your most controversial or unpopular opinion?
Most people think you need milk to eat cereal. I completely disagree. It's so extortionate. The prices of milk nowadays. No way. I just use water and it's delicious. I love my cereal with water when I can find cereal.
Have you ever cheated on anyone?
Certainly not. I have been ever faithful to my one true love, my husband, who I've not seen since the fishing trip, but he's my one and only.
If you could have any job, what would it be?
Any job in the whole world, I would choose to be a wealthy banker because they get paid a fortune and their hours don't seem bad at all. Maybe when the line gets really long up to their till, that might get stressful managing that, but apart from that, what's the downside?
And what is your favorite holiday?
I think it's a tie between Memorial Day. There's more murders in the US on Memorial Day than any other day of the year. And All Hallows Eve, when the boundaries between the land of the living and the land of the dead are the thinnest.
What is the worst way you've betrayed a friend?
I don't have friends, but I have betrayed people. When I was in high school, there was a girl in my class who told me she wanted to kill herself. And I could have helped her, but I didn't. And in hindsight, I do wish I had. I ran into her recently, and she's married to a loser, has 2 ugly children, and works part-time as a waitress. If I had helped her commit suicide back then, she wouldn't be suffering like that. I offered to kill her now, but apparently it's too late. She doesn't want to die anymore.
What is your most embarrassing memory?
When I was 6 years old, my parents forced me to attend the birthday party of the girl who lived next door. They fed me copious amounts of candies, cakes, ice cream. I got caught up in such a sugar rush, I actually participated in their games. The worst part was, afterwards, many of these peasants actually thought we were friends.
What is the dumbest thing you ever did?
This rich couple used to pay me to sit for their dog. And one day he died on my watch. So I buried him in the backyard, replaced him with a look-alike from the local pet shop. The couple comes home. The new dog won't stop barking, yapping, nipping. I said he was acting normal during my watch. I got paid and I left. Anyway, he ends up biting one of them. So they put him outside, where he digs up the original, who turns out wasn't as dead as I thought. So they decided they needed to call me, text me more than dozens of times, asking me why I would bury their dog alive and try and replace him with an evil clone. I figured there was no way explaining my way out of that one, so I didn't reply.
You're the conductor on a runaway trolley. There are 5 people ahead of you on the tracks who cannot get off the tracks in time. If you continue forward, you will run over and kill all 5. You cannot stop the trolley, but you can change to an alternate track where there is only one person on it. If you decide to change tracks, the 5 people on the first track will live, but the one person on the alternate track will be run over and die. Do you change tracks?
Wait, I'm a trolley conductor for a living? How did I end up doing that to make ends meet? I mean, geez, forget the people on the tracks. If I ever sank so low I'm driving a trolley, I'd probably jump in front of it just to end my miserable life. Jeez. No thanks.
What would you do with the money?
I'd start my own cult, dedicated to summoning Cthulhu and bringing about the end of days.
What is your favorite holiday?
Well, when I was growing up, it was Christmas, hands down. It's probably every kid's favorite holiday growing up. But now it's Thanksgiving, for sure. You know, day off from work, food, lots of good food, and football. My 3 favorite things.
Have you ever cheated on anyone?
Have I ever cheated? In my entire life, like cheated? Of Of course I have. Who hasn't? I mean, everyone cheats. I've been cheated on by girls. I've cheated on girls. I mean, that's just life, man. Everyone cheats.
What is the most serious law you've ever broken?
I used to shoplift as a kid. I also used to do a ton of underage drinking. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know which one's worse, but whichever one's worse, I guess, would be my answer.
Describe a typical day in your life.
I wake up, I eat, I go to work, I come home, I eat, I watch TV, and then I go to bed.
That's the end of this round. We'll soon find out who will be going home after this message from our sponsor. Today's episode is brought to you by the letter K. Now it's time for the audience to vote. Please enter the selection of the contestant you think should be going home. The votes are in. The audience has voted to send home Lilith. Please keep in mind that this was not my decision. It's now time for our final round. What is your most embarrassing guilty pleasure?
I love bad movies. You know, movies that are so bad that then they're good. Because it's just like so entertaining how bad they are. Like Sharknado. That shit sucks, but it's good, you know? Or like, what does the fox say? Oh, that's a song, but you know, it's so bad that I like that song, you know? Stuff like that, yeah. Bad things become good things for me.
What is the worst way you've betrayed a friend?
Oh man, dude. For years, my friend John used to sell my friend Keith weed, but it wasn't weed, it was kale. Like, he would sell him kale instead of weed. And yeah, Keith didn't know. Like, for years, I was watching Keith, like, pack bongs with kale, and that wasn't working. So then he would, like, make kale brownies, and he had no idea. And yeah, I should have told him, but it was just too funny.
What is your most controversial or unpopular opinion?
I think more people should ride motorcycles. Motorcycles are sweet, dude. Like, oh, people like their hybrid cars, they only get 50 miles per gallon. Motorcycles get that kind of mileage, and they're cool, and no traffic, and they cost like a fraction of the price of a car. $5,000 for a bike, and that's a good one, dude. Yeah, bikes are sweet. Easy to find parking, too. Wherever, whenever.
What is your most embarrassing memory?
Man, I once tried dating two girls in the same night, and that did not go well. I was out with this one girl, and we were having a great time, and then I drove her home. I went inside. We fooled around a little bit. That was fun. And yeah, I said goodbye, went to this bar, and I met this other chick, and she was digging me, and I was digging her, and yeah, we left. I took her home, and it's the same home. Like, they're roommates, dude. So I'm like, okay, Joe, don't push your luck. Let's go home. But no, man, I don't know. I thought like maybe the first girl would be sleeping, or like best case, you know, who knows, you know what I mean? So yeah, I went inside, and sure enough, the first girl sitting there like watching TV. These girls laid it on me. They got up, they yelled at me. I'm like, I'm sorry, you know, you're beautiful, both of you. Yeah, that sucked. That was, whew, not my finest hour. Yikes.
What would you do with the money?
Well, my ex-wife would probably get most of it. She's supposed to get half my income, but the judge hates me, so she always gets the bigger half. But if I got money, I'd pay off my credit cards, finish paying off my bike, and finally have some money in the bank for once. That'd be nice.
What is your most embarrassing memory?
Oh gosh, there's been quite a few things in my life that are embarrassing, but you know, those people on trains that go around checking everyone's tickets that they've got the right tickets. Well, it was my high school reunion, and I pretended that I was one of those people, that was my job, so that everyone would think I was really successful. But then it turned out in the group there was somebody who was a real ticket checker, and they told everyone that I wasn't. They didn't, like, I didn't have that job. They knew I didn't, like, they never saw me at work. It was so embarrassing. They really dropped me in it.
What is the dumbest thing you ever did?
Oh, well, that was sleeping in a dumpster. I mean, it seems like a good idea, right? You know, there's a lid on them, keeps you dry when it's wet. Unfortunately, I fell asleep and the garbage truck came by, and I woke up to find myself being tumbled into the garbage truck and being compacted in beside everything else. It took me 3 days to free myself from the block I was in the landfill.
What is your most embarrassing guilty pleasure?
I love window shopping at those really fancy stores that only rich people shop at. Like Walmart, I go and I look and I think, oh, if I was wealthy, I could have that and that and that. It would be so glamorous if I could really afford to buy things there, but, you know, who can?
What's your happiest memory?
Well, that's a no-brainer. My happiest memory is the day my beautiful daughter Mallory was born. I had her in the hospital and everything. I mean, I was already in the hospital because I'd been bitten by a raccoon. And I suppose it would have been easier if I'd had a doctor present, but I got stuck in an elevator on the way to the maternity floor. There I was, with the raccoon I brought with me to get tested for the rabies. It got loose and I had to fend that off for a while. Even so, out Mallory came and life was perfect.
What is your proudest accomplishment?
I was a world record holder. I was the last known person to contract smallpox. For a week, somebody else did get it after me. I don't know their name. I mean, I don't really remember the week because I did have a terrible fever and a really itchy rash, but they say everyone gets their 15 minutes of fame, and that was mine.
That's the end of this round. We'll soon find out who will be going home after this message from our sponsor. Today's episode is brought to you by Vegas Tales, the full-motion video game from the makers of Truth. A wealthy resort owner is dying and needs you to help decide who should inherit his estate. You'll be interviewing some over-the-top characters and helping choose who will become extremely wealthy. Be careful, as there may be more to some than meets the eye. Vegas Tales is available now on your favorite gaming platform. Now it's time for the audience to vote. Please enter the selection of the contestant you think should be going home. The votes are in. The $1 million prize is going to Claire.
No way! I can't have won. I've never won anything in my life before. This is insane. Well, apart from that one time I won a free video rental at Blockbuster, but they went out of business the next day, so that doesn't really count. This is awesome. Thanks so much.